Confided Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. Arc Point Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
Decisions say a lot about character, like the time Liberal State House candidate Brian Farkas campaigned against funding for the ECU School of Medicine. It's true. Farkas colluded with Raleigh politicians to block critical funding for the ECU Brody School of Medicine, all at a time when we desperately need better health care. And in return, Farkas received huge campaign donations from some of Raleigh's biggest power players. Because when it comes to priorities, Brian Farkas will put his political career ahead of Eastern North Carolina every time. Representative Perrin Jones, on the other hand, has served our community for over 20 years as a doctor. Perrin Jones has a plan to improve health care, increase teacher pay, and get our economy moving again. Vote Dr. Perrin Jones for State House.
Paid for by supporters of Perrin Jones. Authorized by Perrin Jones, candidate for North Carolina House.
Domino's week-long carry-out deal means you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each every day. That's right, $7.99 each, and every day means any day. But just in case there's any confusion, we've set up a helpful website to confirm if today's a day you can carry out 3-topping pizzas for $7.99 each at Domino's. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's week-long carry-out deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes extra large and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size.
My whole business just went up in flames, but my agent was there before the fire was out. We started a plan. I've got 25 employees who could be out of a job if we didn't get this place running again. My independent agent and auto owner's insurance, they made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. That's incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
This is Brian Smith with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
This is Ashley, and on behalf of the whole Shimmer Boutique crew, we would like to say thank you for voting us Best Gift Shop and Best Women's Boutique in 2020. We could not have done it without you, and we hope that you will shop with us this holiday season. Shimmer carries a wide variety of men's, youth, women's clothing, and jewelry, as well as home goods. Shimmer is your one-stop shop for the whole family this holiday season. Plus, we will always offer complimentary gift wrapping. Shimmer Boutique, located on Greenville Boulevard behind Starbucks, in Winterville besides New River Pottery, and in Jacksonville's Mall.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Gavigan Insurance, BMS Builders, The Rick House, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
All right, happy Monday, everybody, and welcome into our show on this Monday afternoon. Lots to talk about, most certainly, because East Carolina fell on the road to the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa on Friday night. It seems like it's been a long, long weekend. I know it was for the team and for the coaches because they got in very early Saturday morning, and they've got a week. This week's a little bit different because they're taking off tomorrow for Election Day to give everybody a chance to get out and vote. So the team is practicing today. We're lucky enough to have Steve Ellis. He's the cornerbacks coach at East Carolina to join us during this hour to talk Pirate football. We'll take your questions and comments on our Facebook Live feed if you'd like to chip in there. Coach, first of all, welcome to the show. We appreciate your time today.
How you doing, Mr. Bailey? Happy to be here.
When you look at everything, I know we can't talk specifics about what happened in the Tulsa game as far as the American coming out with a statement and how blatantly bad things went against East Carolina, unfairly so, with the call on the fumble that was reversed, with the pass interference on that last drive, with the completion that was called complete on the field that looked like it was incomplete, it hit the ground. But as a coaching staff, when you guys are seeing that, if you're in the booth or if you're on the field, I mean, you're not the head coach. You can't really react to anybody. But how do you hold it all in when you you see all that?
During a football game, there's going to be a lot of ebbs and flows throughout the game. And, you get a chance to see it on the Jumbotron. And I know for the refs, it's pretty tough for them because it's going at real speed. But once you get a chance to slow the game down and go to the replay, again, it's tough decisions for them, but I wish it would win in our favor.
Yeah, and we've looked at it 1,000 times since it happened, and I think what's happened, and maybe the American, I just finished talking with Coach Houston about this, and going forward, obviously the American came out with the statement acknowledging that there was a mistake on the play, the error in the fourth quarter, 152 of the fourth quarter, the Tulsa ball carrier ruled on the field to a fumble, the ensuing recovery by East Carolina. After further review, the replay official came out and reversed the call. They acknowledged that was a mistake. It should not have happened that way. And really, Tulsa had the timeouts left and everything, but that was a huge play. You get the football right there. You basically run the clock out with a first down, and the Pirates, go on the road and beat a very good Tulsa team if all of that occurs. It didn't occur, but it's almost like, Coach, we've gotten to the point where in replay, we're trying so hard to get everything right that we're kind of overlooking it's like you don't see the forest for the trees, because if you slow down frame by frame by frame, I think you make a mistake in the whole deal. There's a frame out there that shows the guy looks like he has control of the football and his knees down, but that's only one frame. And if you run it, regular time or run it even slow motion, it's a different story. And, camera angles provide different looks on everything. And I just think that, I don't know if we need to go away from replay completely, but we got to figure it out that unless it's just blatant, let the humans on the field make the call, and then if there's something that they really screwed up bad, then the replay overturns it. But it's frustrating, isn't it?
It's tough. Because especially when you get the opportunity, you have a chance to win the game, especially when it's a good football game like it was last Friday night. Two good teams, they battling, they competing, and that's all you can ask for as a coach and also as a fan. But, when the game is over and you get in the locker room and see those players' eyes and you see the tears and you know how the 20th season has become so far just with everything going on, you just hate it for anybody, especially for Pirate Nation.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, and it was Friday night, and it was a late night Friday night. And I know you guys have to travel back from Oklahoma and get back in at the wee hours of Saturday morning. But the way this thing works, you're back at work right away, aren't you? You got another game to prepare for, and we'll talk in detail about Tulane, but they're a really good football team too, aren't they?
They're a really good team. Coach Willie Fritz, he does a great job with that team. They're a big physical unit. They do some really good things offensively and defensively. The offensive coordinator, Coach Will Hall, I follow him a lot. Both of us is from Mississippi, so you always follow your colleagues from the same state, but he does a fabulous job of, getting matchups for their guys. So it's going to be a good challenge for us, and I think we're up for the task.
How did the guys come back afterwards? I know Coach Houston said he was planning on not really getting with everybody on Saturday, but once the American came out with their statement, he thought it was important to come out, and I think he said he had a Zoom call with everybody, which got the guys together in a virtual kind of way, which is all of 2020. But how did the guys come back at practice on Sunday?
We got a deal here. It's 24-hour rule.
Yeah.
Whether you win, lose, or draw, you got 24 hours to celebrate. You got 24 hours to cry, but when you come back in the office that next day and you watch the film, we just try to put everything aside, and our focus totally on the green wave.
Do you think in the back of their minds, Coach, that they understand that this is part of the growing pains? One of the coaching cliches is first you lose big, then you lose small, then you win small, then you win big. I mean, it's kind of cliche-ish, but it's very true. I mean, you have to walk before you can run, and you hate to play a game like that when you look at the stat sheet, you win the stats. You look at some of the other aspects of the game, and the better team on the field was the team that came from Greenville, North Carolina. Didn't work out that way, but still, the guys have to understand that, hey, you're getting closer. It's trending upward, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, because, what we talk about here is just a daily improvement. We're trying to get better week in and week out, and I think when those guys, look, we started from week one to look at the previous game versus Tulsa, they can see, we're getting better. And I think it starts with the guys practicing. They're going out there giving great effort, and they playing with an attitude. They playing it the way that Coach Houston wants this East Carolina team to play. So, you're sad you lost the game, yes, but when they look and see their improvement throughout the course of this season, that's something you can tip your hat in and say, hey, we're getting better. We're putting, putting forth the work. Let's continue to get better.
Steve Ellis, East Carolina Cornerbacks coach, joining us on this Monday. We'll take our first commercial break. We'll come back. We'll talk more about the Tulane game coming up. We'll talk about some of his individual players in his room as the Cornerbacks coach. Back with more on the Brian Bailey Show on this Football Monday after this.
2020 certainly hasn't been the year many of us were hoping for, but one thing has stayed the same. I'm Tim Sutton with Greenville Auto World, and our commitment to our customers has never wavered. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Your vehicle is a big investment, and our customers trust us to keep them up and running with outstanding service and value. With Greenville Auto World, cross from Hardee's at Bell's Fork.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Vaughn. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Hey Pirate fans, the Papa John's menu has grown again with the all-new grilled buffalo chicken papadilla. The papadillas are part sandwich, part pizza, and are only $6. Choose from the all-new grilled buffalo chicken, Philly steak, Italian, pepperoni meatball, and barbecue chicken and bacon, all for only $6 each. Also, for a limited time, get any large 5-topping pizza for only $13.99. Place your order today online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
BMS Builders is your premier custom builder in eastern North Carolina. With Blackwood and Mills Creek in Greenville, Dalton's Cove in Farmville, and Belmar in Ayden, these are just a few of the developments featuring BMS Builders homes. They can build the home of your dreams. Just ask Dr. Dennis Ross in Greenville or East Carolina football coach Mike Houston. They built their homes, and they can build yours as well. BMS Builders. Give them a call at 916-1578 for BMS Builders.
It's bow time.
The barbecue sandwich from Bojangles is back. Wait, Bojangles has barbecue?
Yeah, keep going.
Well, okay then. We're talking tender pulled pork with a tangy Carolina vinegar kick. Unforgettably topped with our country coleslaw, all on perfectly toasted buns. So if you're like me and missed it last time, get your hands on a barbecue sandwich combo pronto.
It's bow time.
Pirate Radio.
And you write that down, because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it!
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to our show on this Monday afternoon, the start of your football week. The Pirates back at home at Dowdy Ficklin Stadium at noon on Saturday. And hopefully you can get a chance to get one of those 3,500 or 3,700 tickets that are available and get your Get your butt to Dowdy Ficklin and support this team because, man, they put it on the line Friday night on the road in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and really took, Tulsa's tied for the top spot in the American right now with Cincinnati. The Bearcats still on the Pirates schedule. That's coming up a week from this Friday. So the Pirates have another Friday night game. We'll talk about that later on as well. Steve Ellis, the cornerbacks coach at East Carolina, is our guest on this Monday. Kind of a different week, Coach, for you guys. As we said, the team's taking tomorrow off for Election Day. So you guys are kind of having a week like you had last week, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got practice today, and we get the guys here around 3:30, and we'll get going, and they're excited about this upcoming Saturday.
What were some of the things you saw in the tape from your room or from the defensive side with Blake Harrell and guys that you really want to work on and tweak? I really thought the first half, man, that was one of the best defensive performances we've seen in a long time. Those guys were flying around the ball. You can just tell that this team, they're very, very young, but they've got some talent, and they really enjoy playing the game of football. And defensive football is so much about emotion, isn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. It's about bringing the energy, and, the year 2020 is different because the fans are not field. So we have to bring our own juice, like we would say, and we want all the guys to feed off us, to feed off our energy, to go out there and put up a good performance.
What did you see in the tape that you really want to work on this week?
I think the biggest thing, just working on our tackling, just continue to tackle better. I think that's one of the things that we'll focus on today at practice. The college football, the game is changing where the football's in space now. It's pretty much basketball on grass. So you've got to be able to tackle in space, and that's something that we will continue to harp. Hope those guys play with great effort because, again, we got a philosophy here. There are no one-on-ones. We want to gain tackle. We want to get to the football and really play with that brotherhood that I think we're trying to exhibit right now.
We're on Facebook Live with you as well. If you have a question or comment, you can jot it down. I'll keep an eye on it. We'll get the question or comment to Coach Ellis, cornerbacks coach at East Carolina, as the Pirates get set to take on the Green Wave of Tulane. Coach, let's talk about your career a little bit. Tulane from Bayou Country. You're from Bayou Country. You played at Nicholls State, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. New Orleans, 45 minutes from Thibodaux, Louisiana. They had a great time there, so very familiar with the Green Wave.
What did you like about playing football down there?
We play in Louisiana, and man, they just love football. They just love football. They love high school football, and there's a passion about the football in that state. There's some great high school coaches, and like I said, there's a great passion for the game of football in the state of Louisiana.
And that's where you got your coaching start at, right?
Yes, sir. I finished up in 2002, and one of our guys left and went on to take another position. And once I finished playing, luckily enough, Coach Darrell Day and Jay Thomas said, hey, you want to get into coaching. And I've been a ball boy all my life for my high school team since I was, 6 years old. And so it was a great opportunity for me. I always knew I wanted to coach. I think it's in my blood. And so when I got presented with that opportunity, I was just so fortunate that, it's working out for me.
And, it's as a coach, it's like you're an assistant coach, but your whole family is basically an assistant coach because they go where you go and they have to understand your hours. They have to understand when you're out recruiting. And that's difficult too, isn't it?
Oh, it's difficult now because, I have a 12-year-old son, Caleb, and, I spend more time with the guys here than I do with him.
Yeah.
And, I'm very fortunate that Coach Houston, lets him come to practice and he be around the guys. And, if you're going to get in this business, it's going to have to be a family decision because, you have 110 guys and they're all like your son. So everybody has to be all in because it's a tough business to be in, especially when you're trying to put family in, trying to be successful also. But that's part of the business, and I love it.
Obviously, you like coaching in the South. You spent those 10 years at Middle Tennessee State. What was that like?
Oh, it was great. Worked for a great guy, Rick Stockstill.
Yeah.
He's going his 16th season there. I had a chance to work with some fabulous coaches that really, got my career to the point that it's all about the kids. How can you help them have some success? And your main goal is take a guy that's average, try to make him better. Take a guy that's pretty good, try to make him, try to be great. And if he's great, how can you somehow make him elite? And that's the goal of a coach, always trying to help those guys improve, not only on the football field, but also make those guys better men when they come out your program.
Oddly enough, Coach Stockstill almost got the job here at East Carolina at one point, didn't he?
I think that was my first year there, and there were some rumors about that. And, Things just didn't work out. Good or bad, however, indifferent. He decided to stay, but he has taught me a lot about the game of football. And the biggest thing I learned from him is just how to treat players. Treat the player just like they're your son, and you coach them hard, you push them hard, but always have that kind gesture in your heart to always have an open door policy with the guys.
And then you spent a year with Charlie Strong down in South Florida. Charlie Strong, to me, is one of the absolute nicest people that you ever want to meet. I had a chance to get with him several years at the American Athletic Conference media event up in Newport, Rhode Island, the clam bake they have every year. And Coach Strong was always just a super interview, really, really down to earth. And I really enjoyed talking to him each and every summer.
Oh, it was great. I had a great year to spend with him. I had a chance to see those guys, a great defensive mind, and really showed you how football is supposed to be. His tree is Lou Holtz, Urban Meyer. He worked for all those guys, so you got a chance to, put a lot of things together and got to see how it's supposed to be done. But he's a great leader, great ambassador of men, and I was just so grateful that he gave me the opportunity to spend a year with him.
And then you came to East Carolina. What was the one calling card? Mike Houston, obviously, but what brought you to East Carolina, to Greenville, North Carolina?
We had a chance to play East Carolina last year when I was at South Florida, and you got a chance to see the stadium, man, fans everywhere. You got a chance to see the atmosphere. You got a chance to see CJ and Snead and Holton. Those guys were young guys, and so you knew this was going to be, this got a chance to build as it goes on. And once I got a chance to talk to Coach Houston, I got a chance to see his track record. He has won everywhere he has been. Yeah. And when I got a chance to meet him, I just saw a great leader of men. The same way I saw Coach Strong, Coach Stockstill, I just knew I had to be a part of this staff.
And Blake Harrell came in as defensive coordinator, and what he's done so far, and with all of your guys' input, obviously the assistant coaches on the defensive side of that staff, but really, because you've got to play some defense. Obviously, this is college football these days, as you said, football, basketball and grass, more or less, but you've got to play some defense, and you've got to tackle in space, and you've really got to come up with some ways to get pressure on the quarterback, whether it's blitzing or whether it's stunning inside or whatever you do. You got to put pressure, because most of those guys can just sit back there and pick you apart, can't they?
Oh, we look at this conference, the AAC. I mean, we got some of the top quarterbacks in the country, and not just quarterbacks, some of the top offensive minds in this conference. So from a defensive perspective, they put a lot of pressure on you every week, and they put you in very stressful situations because the skill level in this conference is second to none. And you look at the quarterback we just faced, Zach Smith, and you look at the quarterback at UCF. I mean, those are some of the top quarterbacks in the country. So, when you play in this conference, it's an offensive-driven league, but you got to play defense and try to help your team be successful. And that's the challenge of this conference, and that's why, it's very exciting every week to be a part of this conference.
When you're teaching cornerback play, Coach, is one of the hardest things to teach corners and safeties, all defensive backs, when at the right time, you've got to turn your head around. You've got to get that thing around, because that's what we see it on the professional level. So it's not like it's not prevalent everywhere. But guys, at some point when they're combating the wide receiver and trying to guard the wide receiver, at some point they've got to turn their head around, don't they?
You have to, and the most part, just be comfortable with the football in the air. Now, the biggest thing here to stay paused. You're in a great position. I always tell the players, the first second of the play, that's my coaching ability. And when the play gets on that 3 to 4 seconds, that's your God-given ability. But anytime it's to finish, that's when my coaching has to come in, because I have to give you tools and techniques to help you be successful. Because, again, it's a split-second reaction that you have when the quarterback releases the ball. It can be a back shoulder fade. It can be an overthrown ball. It could be a perfect pass. And you have a split second to make a real decisive decision. And we just try to give those guys some tools and techniques to keep those guys paused and feel like they can make every play when the ball's in the air.
What are some of those tools and techniques you work on? Because you see so much, hand fighting and grabbing, and sometimes guys get away with it, sometimes they don't get away with it. It's almost like if you're not cheating, you're not trying. But it's not cheating, but you've got to get every edge as a corner, don't you?
You're going to have to. Like I said, now it's some really good quarterbacks in the league that can they can pinpoint passes to those receivers. And the great thing about us is every day at practice, we get a chance to go against Holton and CJ and Snead and Pro. So we get a chance to face some really good receivers in practice. And I will say my best coaching tools is going against those guys every day. Because every day, Coach DK, Coach Packers, he put us in stressful positions every time we get a chance to go against the offense in practice. So that's our best rep. That's our best opportunity to work on our craft going against our offense and their weapons that those guys have.
You know, Coach Houston this past summer was talking that, you know, he knew his offense had some really outstanding wide receivers. And he said, you know, you can find guys kind of similar to that around, but you can't find a Tyler Snead very often. I mean, he's incredible, isn't he?
He's a really good player.
Yeah.
And I just love him, just his spirit in practice. And he's always talking trash to me every day for me to be a fine football player. He has that toughness, and I know my son comes to practice every day, and he's always watching Snead. And Snead is his favorite player because he brings it every day to practice.
Tyler Snead is a good one to watch because he's just all around and he's tough as nails. You watch him; he gets hit sometimes, and he just bounces right back up. Kind of gets thrown down like a rag doll, and he's back up, ready to go, ready to fight. And you know that's the kind of attitude that every player on that team probably needs, don't they?
Oh yes, I mean he's got to love football. And one thing about a football player, man, this is a tough game. This is a violent game, and you're not a tough football player, you're not going to last out there playing college football. But you want a definition of a football player is him. He's tough, he's smart, he's accountable, he's disciplined. But the most facet that he has is he's a great competitor and a great leader.
And, you know, it's funny because I know in the summertime, especially when it's hot and guys, you know, get on one another's nerves, you have those scrimmages and, you know, guys chirp a little bit. But at the end of the day, they all realize they all wear the purple and gold, don't they?
Oh, yeah, because it's all about competing.
Yeah.
You know, I try to tell the defensive backs, you know, our offense is going to be as good as we are. And we should be their greatest opponent every time we get a chance to go out there doing practice. So hopefully when we get to Saturday, they feel like, hey, you know, it's a little easier than practice. And so those guys compete. They love each other, but it's all about competing.
And while we're on the offensive side of the football, guys you go up against every day as a cornerback coach, but Rajay Harris, I just think that he's amazing. I can't believe he's a true freshman. I watch him run the football, and he just looks like he has a maturity as far as how to run the football that we just haven't seen here in a long time.
You know, it started during training camp.
Yeah.
And, you know, we really didn't have spring balls, so you didn't know what those guys' true DNA was. But we got a chance to start training camp this fall, and he broke some long runs, and he made our guys miss in the hole, and you realize, you know, when you watch the tape that, hey, man, 47 pretty good.
Yeah.
You know? And I think right now the fans starting to see how good, how special this young man could be. And the greatest part about him, he's a great individual. Like, he's a great ambassador for this university.
Yeah, that's what Coach Houston said. Coach Houston says that you guys really recruited him hard. And you know, it's one thing if you recruit a talented player because you have to have talent, but you also have to have guys that want to work hard, want to get better, and are just good kids and just good people to be around. And everybody says, I haven't met Rajay yet. I was really laughing hard about I guess it was an Instagram post when he explained to everybody how to say his name, because Coach Houston still messing it up, calling him Rajay, but it's Rajay. And that was hilarious coming from a freshman.
Yes, and he has a great sense of humor. He has a wittiness about him. Has a great personality. When you get a chance to speak with him, you're in for a real treat.
Looking forward to that. Steve Ellis is the cornerbacks coach at East Carolina. We'll take another commercial break right now. We've got a couple of questions or comments on our Facebook page, so get those in. We'll get them to Coach Ellis. We'll continue to talk Pirate football. We're kicking off your football week. Pirates and Tulane coming up at noon on Saturday. Back with more on the Brian Bailey Show on this Monday.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, north of the airport on Highway 11 in Greenville. Your home for Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, and Kawasaki motorcycles. The AP Top 25 is out. Clemson is number 1, Alabama number 2, Ohio State 3rd, Notre Dame is 4th. Liberty cracks the top 25 for the first time at number 25. Cincinnati from the AAC is number 6. Another American team, SMU, is number 18. Coastal Carolina is 15th. Marshall's 16th, and North Carolina is out of the top 25. The Pirates are home Saturday at 12 noon against Tulane following a gut-wrenching 34-30 loss at Tulsa last Friday night. ECU is 1-4, 1-3 in the American. Tulane is 3-4, 1-4 in the AAC. That lone win in league play was this past Saturday in a 38-3 beatdown of Temple. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
Over 32 years ago, the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern North Carolina opened its doors as a place to help families stay together and close to the care they need when they have a sick child. With the addition of a second Ronald McDonald House inside the Maynard Children's Hospital, our need to serve is greater than ever as the medical community flourishes. Help us expand our mission of keeping families close as we grow to meet that need. You can show your support by making a donation to the Ronald McDonald House. Visit our website today at rmhenc.org for more information. Thank you for your support.
University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. Your office deserves a proactive tech support approach instead of always reacting to issues after the damage is done. You need BizCare. BizCare tech support and cybersecurity plans keep you ahead of potential issues and much safer from cyber threats like ransomware. What's at your office? Call William today to schedule your free BizCare consultation or learn more at universitypccare.com.
The Shine Factory of Greenville is excited to announce their new mini detail stations are now available at each vacuum station. That's right, after you get the outside of your vehicle cleaned, you can now detail the inside of it with free air freshener, leather cleaner, and tire shine. Join the Shine Factory's Unlimited Wash Club for as low as $20 a month and free mini detail services after every wash. The Shine Factory, where customer service is always number one. The Shine Factory, open daily from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. on Memorial Drive across from Lowe's.
Did you know your small change can make a difference? The next time you visit McDonald's, please consider rounding up for the Ronald McDonald House. Your change adds up and can help many folks in Eastern North Carolina. Just $10 can provide a free night stay for families with sick children here in Eastern North Carolina and across the state. Just ask your cashier at checkout or choose to round up for RMHC when ordering through the McDonald's app. Thank you for visiting your local McDonald's owned by Dixon Foods and for your support of the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern North Carolina.
Hi, this is Phil Steele of Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday as we continue on with Steve Ellis, the cornerbacks coach at East Carolina. Our Facebook Live feed is up. If you're watching and listening there, we say hello. If you'd like to make a question or ask a question, make a comment, we'll get those to Coach Ellis. Will has typed in, he says, Coach, can you talk about some of the newer or younger guys on the roster that we may not know as much about? Some of your new players, newer players, younger players, Coach, in your room. Who are some of those guys?
I think we have a kid, C.J. Crump. He's a freshman right now. He's getting better and better every week. Went to Page High School in North Carolina. Really excited about him. Kid that played kind of everywhere in high school, quarterback, running back, defensive back, receiver, really athletic. He's really getting better and better, so very excited about his future.
When you look at your room, Coach, and the players in it, the question was about younger players. All of your players are basically young. This whole team is a bunch of young, talented players that are going to get better and better as we continue on. But let's go through some of these guys and maybe you give us some of their strengths, some of the things they're working on, that kind of thing. Let's start with Malik Fleming.
Oh, Malik. I love Malik. Malik is a true competitor. He's a guy that's the first one in the meeting room, the last one to leave practice. He's a guy that truly loves football, and I'm so happy to be here with Malik. The greatest aspect about Malik is he's been a great ambassador for the young guys. They can look at Malik and ask questions, and he has that sentiment about him to where he's always trying to help everyone get better, and that's the real positive about Malik.
This is from the depth chart before the Tulsa game, but then the other side of that was Sean Tucker or Darnell Hickman. I can't even see the type written out there, but those two are battling for playing time as well, aren't they?
Oh, yes, sir. Those guys come to practice every day. They're doing great on the special teams aspects for us. And the thing about a young player is you really get invested into the special teams first, and then you'll work your way into the defensive or offensive side of the ball. and those guys have been tremendous for us on the special teams unit, and I can see their role increasing for us as the season continues to progress, that they'll be involved more in the defensive scheme.
Our buddy Kenny Curlings has written in and says the Pirates won that game with a Pirate flag, and I think that a lot of Pirate Nation agrees with that statement. I think the American probably agrees with that statement. They just couldn't hand the victory to the Pirates after that statement that they put out on Saturday. But, Kenny, we appreciate you watching and listening today. Again, our Facebook Live feed is up. If you'd like to make a comment, ask a question, we'll get them on to Steve Ellis, who's the cornerbacks coach at East Carolina. We're talking about his room right now. We're on one side. Let's go to the other side, Jaquan McMillan.
Oh, J-Mac. No, we call him J-Mac here. He just been steadfast throughout this year. Had a really productive freshman year last year. And you can see the improvement and the maturation in his football game. He's got his tough. He plays the field and the boundary corner, plays all the special teams unit. The good thing about J-Mac, he comes to work every day. He's an ultimate player for us consistency standpoints. You know what you're going to get down in, down out. He's smart, he's physical, he's tough. He brings that Pirate toughness to our defense that we love to see.
And then on the other half of that is Nolan Johnson.
You know, Nolan's a kid that is really getting better and better week in and week out. I mean, he played a total about 60 plays versus Tulsa. Nolan plays our boundary corner. You know, he's a longer kid. You know, he's about 6'1", 6'2", about 195 pounds. He's a smart football player, getting better and better each week. And the good thing about Nolan is he's just a sponge. Everything you tell him, he soak it in, and he try to apply it from the board into the football field. And so hopefully he continues to get better and keep helping us continue to improve this defense.
I know Coach Houston's really big on special teams. We've seen that in some of the games, you know, some of the big plays that special teams can make. How important are special teams, especially to your younger players in your room?
You know, it's the focal point because those guys get a chance to get a feel for the game, you know, especially when you have a young high school kid. And again, 2020 has been so different because those guys didn't really have an off season. They didn't have a summer workout regimen. So to get those guys kind of broken to the college atmosphere, the special team is very critical for those guys. And they get a chance to get their first hit, get a chance to make their first tackle. And the thing about football is all about confidence. And special team allows those guys to go out there and know their role. They get a chance to get their first feel for the college experience, and hopefully that confidence level continue to increase.
You know, Coach, every time I get a coach on, I try to ask them about the COVID-19 situation and how they've been able to manage the testing and everything. But, you know, a year ago, would you have ever imagined that we'd be going through a year like this?
Never imagined it.
In a million years.
I have never been to a pandemic before, and it's just amazing that all the things that go on behind the scenes. And I just really want to give a shout-out to our support staff here at East Carolina. They have done a fabulous job from a standpoint from the COVID protocols to making sure our players trying to stay safe, and they just have done a fabulous job. But until you actually in it, I don't think anybody on the outside can actually understand all the stuff that goes on into it.
I mean, you joined the staff in February of 2020, and by 3 weeks later, we were right smack dab in the middle of this thing. That had to be tough for you personally because you're in a new spot and you're trying to get your family here, I'm sure, and trying to get your new players and all that. I just can't imagine.
You know, the toughest thing is just building a relationship with those players. You know, anytime you go into a new football team and a new staff, it's all about that chemistry. And a lot of them trying to get the chemistry with the coaches that's currently on staff. You're trying to build that bond with the players that you're going to be coaching. And the last part is you're trying to build that bond with the team because you're trying to meet everyone. And the unique thing about when those guys came back, everybody's wearing masks. So you never get a chance to see a guy's face to know who he actually is.
Wow.
So everybody's trying to be in protocols, to wearing the mask. But the biggest thing is just trying to get that chemistry with your guys because you got to build that brotherhood. You have to build that trust. You have to build that relationship with those players to let them know that you care about them first. Then you're going to coach them. The only way you can coach them is they have to know you care about them. And, you couldn't take them to church. You couldn't bring them to your house to eat dinner with you and your family. So that was the toughest part, just to build that relationship. Because like I said earlier, you're going to go through ebbs and flows throughout that season. And the only way you can build that trust is to spend time with the players. And that was a difficult part because of the pandemic. You just couldn't spend that quality time with those guys to build the relationship to where it needs to be.
Did you even know what a Zoom call was before this whole thing hit? Because I didn't.
I tell you what, I never knew what a Zoom call was, but I'm very familiar with it right now.
Yeah. It's almost been a godsend, hasn't it?
It's technology, it's ascending every day, and it's something that, I never knew anything about. But, man, what a great teaching tool that it turned out to be. And I think from here to throughout coaching, this Zoom technology world that we're in will keep on evolving throughout the game of football.
Coach, how much do you guys work with the safeties? I know Coach Weaver's got the safeties, but how much do you guys work on drills, combined drills with those guys, and then, your own drills?
We have it structured throughout practice and structured throughout meeting, but we always working together because those guys have to be brothers, because they tied into so much of the defensive scheme that they have to see everything out of one eye. And the great thing for me and Coach Weaver, we're best of friends. There's no egos with me and him or the cornerbacks or the safeties in general. We really have a brotherhood back there in that room, so those guys know we won't be on the same page. We won't be saying the same thing, and we have to see it out of the same eye. Because I can't see one thing one way, and he sees one thing another way. That's when you start having explosive plays, and that's when you start having busts in the secondary. So we're always working together. We always repeat the same thing that we say, so those guys see it out the same eye.
When Coach Harrell calls a blitz, do you kind of get a little worried because that's more pressure on your guys on the back end, or do you kind of smile because the more pressure they get on that quarterback, the easier the job is back there?
I kind of do both. Yeah. But, hey, we are aggressive style defense, and, we always preach and being aggressive here. And so every blitz he call, I love it. And so that's why you coach the secondary. You want to coach the best of the best, and we want to be put in stressful situations. But the most important is, it's 11 brothers out there doing their job. And whether he call an overload blitz or he call a max drop zone, everybody has to do their job. And it all starts with being accountable. The game of football is about accountable. Letting those guys know that, hey, they're accountable to each other. Then the next part of it is toughness. They have to know that not only physical toughness, but it has to be that mental toughness. And once you get the accountability, and once those guys know they have that toughness, that's when you equal trust. And hopefully we keep evolving throughout this defensive system. You can see when that trust starts to happen, it seems like it's 12, 13, 14 guys out on the football field. There's a certain buzz that's in the room. And hopefully you start to see it when we're playing. There's a certain buzz on the sideline. That's when you know that, things go in the right direction.
Coach Greg has written in and says, how do you prepare the guys mentally after the American admits they had the problem with the officiating and the thing shouldn't have been overturned like it was? They erred in their judgment. But how do you mentally prepare the guys and get them ready? Because at some point, you're frustrated when you don't win a game, and then, that's a game. If I'm the Pirates right now, I'm looking at the Navy game, and that whole COVID situation was really wacky. And then you're looking at the next game, and you're in the fourth quarter, and rarely do you see three controversial plays on the same drive for our team to go down and beat you on, and then for one of them, and nobody even has mentioned from the American that the fourth down pass was actually on the ground, but they didn't. I guess they figured if they got this one and admitted that one, they'd have to admit the second one. But how do you get the guys mentally back for that?
Well, I think the first thing we have to say is 4 months ago, we didn't even know if we were going to play a football season.
Yeah.
So you got a chance to go out there and play. You got a chance to compete, most importantly. And the next thing is we have 24 hours. We have 24 hours. If you win, you got 24 hours to celebrate. If you lose, you got 24 hours to cry. But when you come to office on Sunday, it's back to the next opponent. And our next opponent is Tulane. And I know it's kind of coaching cliche, but that's our approach here. We don't control the calls. We don't control the scoreboard. Only thing we control is our daily improvement.
Kenny writes in and says, Coach, the defense looks faster, looks sharper. Is that because of the confidence or continuity or just better understanding of the defense? And a lot of times when guys really understand things, they're not having to think, and they're just flying around.
I think, it goes back to accountability and plus toughness, equal trust. And I think the guys now see that, hey, we're trying to put them in the best situation possible. And those guys believe in each other. I really believe that Nolan Johnson really believes that Xavier is going to give everything he can on that specific play. And we just want to keep on progressing, and I'm glad he thinks we look fast. Hopefully we'll look even faster this week, But we just want to continue to get better and keep striving for greatness.
Steve Ellis, cornerbacks coach at East Carolina, our guest. We'll take another commercial break. We're winding things down for the hour with Coach Ellis. Questions or comments on the Facebook Live feed, if you like. Back with more on our show after this.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-styled restaurant and bar. Join us at the Rick House for mouth-watering steaks and the best burgers around. Check out the spicy mahi risotto or the bourbon pecan salmon. Wednesday night is date night. 2 salads, an appetizer, a bottle of wine, 2 entrees, and a dessert for just $55. Thursday is ladies' night with $5 martinis and special apps. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville. The Rick House.
Can't make it to the game? Relax. Bostic Sugg Furniture can provide you with the best seats in the house. We have the area's largest selection of Lazy Boy motion furniture in stock and ready to go. Lazy Boy recliners, reclining sofas, love seats, and reclining sectionals in hundreds of colors, styles, fabrics, and leather, all at a very comfortable price. Remember, when it comes to Lazy Boy motion furniture, we're your ticket to the best seats in the house. Bostic Sugg Furniture in Greenville.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
At Tiebreakers, we admit we have a bit of a problem. People love our wings so much that they're starting to sell their home TVs just so they can watch all the sporting events here at Tiebreakers. Seriously, we're glad you love our hand-bread and hand-cut boneless wings that much, but we really need you to go home at the end of the night. It's okay, we'll be here tomorrow. And when you come back, bring a friend with you. For great food, great friends, and cold beer, we'll see you at Tiebreakers. Tiebreakers, break the chain, eat local.
White Claw Hard Seltzer. Discover a new wave of refreshment. Crafted using seltzer water, 5% alcohol, and a hint of fruit. Available in 5 fruit flavors. 2 grams of carbs, gluten-free, and 100 calories. Find it at whiteclaw.com. White Claw Hard Seltzer. Nothing tastes quite like it. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with natural flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, 2019 Chicago. Visit whiteclaw.com for full nutritional information.
There have been many changes in the automotive world. At Phelps Chevrolet, the Phelps boys are here to take care of you. Mike, Daryl, and 4 of Mr. Phelps' grandsons, Wade, West, Allen, and Clay. You see, things at Phelps remain the same. The Phelps team has served Eastern North Carolina for over 50 years. We make your visit easy and fun. We are your neighbors, and that's what neighbors do. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Like Mr. Phelps' great-granddaughter says, come in and get you one.
This is assistant football coach Drew Dudzik, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, we continue on with Steve Ellis, cornerbacks coach at East Carolina, getting you set for Pirate football this weekend. 12 noon kickoff for East Carolina and Tulane, the Green Wave and the Pirates lead the all-time series 11-5. Tulane comes to town at 3-4, 1-4 in American Athletic Conference play, and that one was that 38-3 win over the Temple Owls from this past weekend. Temple kicked a field goal early in that game, and then Tulane just went on a rampage, scored 38 unanswered, and won the game 38-3. Tulane wins over South Alabama, Southern Miss, and Temple. Coach, when you look at this Tulane football team, what do you see on tape?
First of all, they're a big physical unit. Coach Will Hall, the offense coordinator there, does a great job with their offense. Their quarterbacks are freshmen, Mike Pratt. He's doing a great job of pushing the football down the field. They have really good running backs. They use a multitude of running backs in the backfield, and they're real athletic on the outside guys. They got number 2, Deuce Watson, so really explosive receiver that can get down the field. And so this will be a challenge for us. They're a good football unit, but we're excited about Saturday.
Were you surprised when you first saw the score 38-3 over Temple?
You know, when I saw the score, and, you know, you don't want to see 38 points, you know, but I just know that, hey, they're an explosive offense. Those guys do a good job, and they're a darn good football team. So the score didn't surprise me. I know what they can do offensively, but we just got to come ready to play on Saturday.
Coach, take us through your week when you guys sit down as a staff with Coach Harrell as the coordinator and all of you guys in the same room. When you talk about tendencies for the other team and what you think will work and that kind, how do you put a game plan together on defense?
Well, you want to figure out what their offensive tendencies from a strength standpoint. You know, what do they like to do? And then you try to break it down of what can you do to cause those guys some stress. And then you figure out what's their weaknesses. But what can we do to attack those weaknesses? Then you want to know which guys can hurt you. You know, now what can you do to try to eliminate those guys to just hurt you drastically? So those are the things that go in the game plan to basically figure out what they're trying to do. How can you do to stop those guys from hurting you?
On the defensive side for the coaching staff, who's on the field and who's in the booth during a game?
Well, me and Coach Harrell, Coach Tash, and Coach Street are on the field, and Coach Tripp and some other guys are in the box, and they're giving us information of what's going on in the play, and we're on the field, you know, so everybody just talking to each other, trying to make sure we're putting those guys in the best situation and giving us the information that we need to be successful.
How hard is it to get the play called and get it out to the guys?
You know, everybody now is running tempo.
Right.
And, you know, back in the day when we first started coaching, everybody would huddle up.
Right.
I think now if a team huddle now, the kids will probably ask you now, what is that, a huddle?
Yeah, that's right. So nobody knows what it is.
Nobody knows what it's deal. It's kind of extinct. So, but, you know, just get it in and get the formation and get the personnel grouping. And Tulane does a really good job of manipulating the personnel because they put different guys in different places. So that's one thing they add to their offense that create a lot of confusion for you defensively.
And that was one of the difficult things about playing like a UCF, that it really runs a tempo.
Oh, yes. They're a big tempo team, and they got excellent players on the outside. They got good running backs, and the quarterback, like I said earlier, you know, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the country. So they just pull out stress on you, and they use the 53 and the third of the football field. They use every amount of space they possibly can to put you in very difficult situations.
One of the keys to winning football is creating turnovers, and you guys have been able to create some. I mean, Warren Saber, he's made a living off of an early interception, hasn't he?
Oh, yes, sir. And, you know, this is something that Coach Houston stresses for us. You know, we just got to try to get our offense the ball back and try to put those guys in a positive field position. And what we're trying to do is just steal a possession from the offensive side of the ball to get our guy extra possession, to put the ball in Holton's and CJ's hands. So, but we stretch it in practice. You know, we drill it every day, and hopefully those guys start to believe that things we're doing in practice are following up to the game. And we'll continue to stretch turnovers because, again, not only does it give the defense energy, it gives the whole team's energy. With Warren Saber caught that ball the first play against Tulsa, it was just a burst of energy throughout our whole football team.
And, you know, one of the untold things about college football or football in general that you can't see on a stat sheet, but there are times when, you know, the Pirates had a couple of early fumbles that East Carolina was able to overcome because of your defense. I mean, the defense really bailed them out. The interception in the second half, the Pirate defense, you know, bailed them out again. So that's a key. That's kind of like an accepted challenge for a defense, isn't it?
Well, you know, for us, we take it as a challenge. Their defense just made a play. So, okay, let's put the ball down. Let us go out there and make a play. And it's got that philosophy is, hey, their defense gets our defense. Their defense made a play, so why can't we go out there and make a play? And the most important thing is for us is just it's another opportunity for us to get on the field. So that's philosophy we have. Hey, their defense made a play. It's time for us to go make a play. Just put the ball down.
Have you been surprised at just how good the football is in the American?
You know, I have followed the American for a while, and I got a chance to get in it last year, but it's really good football. You look at the teams in this conference and what they can do from an offensive standpoint, I mean, it's pretty amazing. But it's tough. It's got really good players. You can also look at the NFL draft. You can see guys going from this conference going to the National Football League and progressing really well. So I'm not surprised, because I know it's a good league. I had a chance to play in it last year, and just being again this year, I mean, this is some of the top talent in the country that's in this conference. And I think with these Friday night games and these 12 noon games on Saturday, a lot more people get a chance to watch this conference flourish.
All right, take us through your week, Coach. You guys practice on Sunday. You're going to practice again today, which usually Monday's a day off, but Tuesday's election day. But what do you want to try to accomplish the rest of this week?
Well, the biggest thing is just, hey, getting those guys to understand Tulane, what their tendencies are, how can they hurt you, how can they help us, and just really knowing everything we possibly can about that Tulane Green Wave offense. And thus, for those guys coming in, watching tape, I tell you, we got some guys here that love to play football. They come in on their own, watch tape, they breaking down film. They get a chance to look at all the situational tendencies throughout the course of the week. And we want to make sure on Saturday that those guys feel confident about the game plan. They know their opponent. They know the situation of football. And they feel really good about the job that we have to do on Saturday.
Have you seen, I'm sure you have, but just the vast improvement since week one? I mean, you almost see this defense, each week they get better and better and better.
And I think it's a tribute to the way we practice. I know Coach Houston's main deal is, hey, you got to earn it in practice. There's nothing given. You earn everything you get. And I think the great thing about it is when those guys come to practice, they excited about practice. You don't have to pull teeth and try to get guys come to practice. They excited about practice. They know when we practice, it's helping us get better and better. And hopefully this Saturday, the way we practice this week, it goes out and shows on Saturday.
And that's encouraging. And with what everybody's gone through, the COVID-19, do you have any war stories about your tests? I know some of the players will tell you which line to go through because the person testing is a little easier.
I tell you now, it's tough, but we have to do it. They're just part of it. And the guys done a great job of following protocols because we're trying to get to Saturday and also staying safe. And like I said again, I just want to commend our support staff and all the people that's monitoring the testing. They're doing a fabulous job because nobody wants to go through that COVID test. But it's part of it that we have to go through. And I just really appreciate everybody doing their part and really taking time to assist our football team.
Steve Ellis, he's the cornerbacks coach at East Carolina. Coach, thanks so much for your time today. I know it's precious, especially on a day like this when you guys are getting ready to go to practice, and we certainly appreciate it. Thanks so much for spending so much time with us, and good luck this week against the Green Wave.
Thank you, and go Pirates.
All right, Steve Ellis, cornerbacks coach at East Carolina. We'll take our final break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show right after this.
Banking is banking until service is not the same. This is Eric Clark from Select Bank and Trust, and this year has been unusual, but we have continued to focus on what has always been important to us, our customers. When businesses needed access to the Paycheck Protection Program, our team of local bankers worked around the clock to successfully keep our customers open and their employees working. Wouldn't you like to deal with a bank that is responsive to your needs, can make local decisions, and cares about you, the customer? We are Select Bank and Trust. Bank local, bank select.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, this is Luke Kuechly. Last season, I was captain on defense. This season, since so many of us will be watching football from home, I'm football watching with Pepsi. And you know me, I pour everything I've got into it. All right, football watchers, let's do this. Opening click-offs. Here we go. Click on, click off. Click on, click off. Stretch that thumb. You can't have finger fatigue bringing you down in the postseason. Nice job. And my favorite, second half sip-offs. Pepsi's up, lift, pool, open. Ice cold Pepsi and watching football. Nothing better.
It's not game day without a delicious, refreshing Pepsi, the official soft drink of the National Football League. Head to your nearest retailer, grab your Pepsi before kickoff, then sit back, relax, and cheer on your favorite team. Pepsi, made for football watching.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro, we are the professional office systems people.
Every team knows that the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I'm here. State Farm agent Timothy Sawyer and my team are here to help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score some savings by combining your home and auto. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, Timothy Sawyer, at 493-0002 today.
Hey, this is Jay from Villa Verde. Did you know that Villa Verde opened up its second location? Yes, it's Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard across the hospital. This new location is a fast casual environment where you can make your own bowls for only $9.95. Choose from our fresh ingredients from our toppings bars or enjoy an amazing rotisserie chicken. We promise you can be in and out in less than 15 minutes. For a quick, healthy meal at an affordable price, visit us at Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
Yo, ho, you're listening to Pirate Radio.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back to our show as we wrap things up on this edition of The Brian Bailey Show. Don't forget, 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. Get up early for the Bud Light pregame tailgate. Clip Rock and Company. With that, I'll be around at 9 a.m. for my part of the pregame show. Looking forward to that. Pirates and Tulane at 12 noon coming up on Saturday. You look at the Green Wave and what they've done. They opened their year with a win over South Alabama 27-24. They followed that up. They were beating Navy. Remember, Navy was coming off that huge loss on opening night, and they just looked atrocious. Was that BYU, wasn't it? It was a BYU game, and then they went to the Tulane game, and they I think it was 24-0. I think Navy came all the way back, and it was a big lead. But Tulane came back and lost that game. They beat Southern Miss in a 66-24, had losses Houston, SMU, and UCF, and they bounced back after 3 straight losses with that win over the Temple Owls at home from last week. So it's the Pirates and the Green Wave, and East Carolina leads the all-time series 11-5. That's our show for this Monday. I hope we got your football week off to a great start. I want to thank Steve Ellis, cornerbacks coach at East Carolina, for joining us. Have yourself a great sports week, and we'll see you back here next time on The Brian Bailey Show.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Gavigan Insurance, BMS Builders, The Rick House, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft and Hagelin, and by Tiebreakers.
Join us next time for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, exclusively on Pirate Radio.